True Geordie is a UK YouTuber who talks about sports a lot, having channels and plenty of streams just about sports like soccer, boxing, and MMA. He'll do the watch party streams where he watches and commentates what's going on during a UFC fight or a soccer match, and other sports as well. Other sports channels do this as well though. He also has a popular series called True News, which I don't know if he still does or not, but it was where he talked about the UK news, the US news, and YouTube internet drama. That's what I watched whenever I used to watch him before I stopped. He also has a podcast with a bunch of guests on it. And that's the only thing I can really give True Geordie, is that he does have a lot of good guests on his podcast. But to go on, he's been in a few controversies in the past. One of them was about a joke he made a lot of people got mad about and he lost sponsors over. That was about 6 months ago, as well as some text messages of his got leaked with a woman, and these text messages were gay, to say the least. Besides all that, one thing I don't like about him myself is that he hung out, or still hangs out, with I'm Alex. If you don't know, I'm Alex is an awful commentary YouTuber who's somehow still around today. But to go on, True Geordie recently did something that everyone is making fun of him for. This all stems from when True Geordie was talking about Conor McGregor. One of True Geordie's channels, he talks about a couple of Conor McGregor interviews, basically saying Conor McGregor seems to be on drugs or something of the sort, because in some of these interviews, he is acting funny. And he only shows 2 interviews that are in the public setting, and I think in the same day. And then he's like, oh, look how he used to act, and then shows a clip of an old interview that was private and with a woman. I'll show that here.
Because someone has to say it. Conor McGregor, I think, has a problem. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of what that problem is, but the way he's speaking is worrying. This isn't me making jabs or trying to take the piss. I genuinely feel bad for this man right now, because if there's one thing about Conor McGregor that we've always known him to be, is a fantastic speaker. I'll give you an example.
I want to do what's right and do my part. That's it. I think, you know, it's our duty as humans to give back.
Okay, so you get the point. McGregor is a very well-spoken guy. We all know this. And he's articulate, chooses his words well, paces his sentences well. Just generally one of the best speakers in sport. Now, let's go to a series of interviews he gave on the same day last weekend for the Katie Taylor fight in Ireland.
Potentially before, it's done. The calls on the process is the process, and
the difficulty that Conor McGregor has in even just finishing a sentence here is very bizarre. So there's a constant licking of the lips throughout all of these interviews, and he can't keep his attention on Ariel Helwani for 2 seconds.
Now, don't get me wrong, he is acting a little off. Some people say he's on steroids due to his new physique, as he does look a lot bigger than he used to, because he used to fight at a lot lower weight class. I think he is on steroids, but mainly to recover from his last leg injury, but mainly for the recovery. I'll talk about this a little bit later. This video is really annoying because he kept constantly pausing after a couple of words for whatever reason, and it got so annoying to me.
It's like torturing me, because this point seeing you now.
This is torturing me.
I'm not going to drink it.
I'm not going to drink it.
I'm not going to drink.
I'm not going to drink it.
Because I'm going to train 3 times a day.
Because I'm going to train 3 times a day.
And I'll tell you why.
And I'll tell you for why.
Trained this morning.
I trained this morning.
I don't usually train 3 times.
I don't usually train 3 times a day.
I just feel like 3 times a day.
I just feel like 3 times a day.
Hey, I'm a little. This is a big fight tomorrow for Katie.
This is a big fight tomorrow for Katie Taylor.
Maybe a nice Sam 18, you know what I mean? You know, I love her so much, and I'm so invested in her, and I want to say I do well. I wanted both ladies and all the competitors.
You can see poor Ariel. Ariel did a great job on this broadcast, by the way. He must be looking in this man's eyes thinking, you are fucking wrecked, mate. What is going on here?
Look how glorious that is. It's sitting there a minute now, sitting there about 10 minutes ago, so the energy isn't glorious. I'll have a coffee instead. And enjoy.
Just getting a word in with this geezer. You deserve a medal, Ariel.
The main clip that got everyone's attention was the one that I'm about to show you, where he talks about how he's possibly on drugs.
I don't know if this is related to his bad leg break, or if this is just a slow descent into more and more drug use, because, you know, let's be real, the more you take it, the more you need. And the reality is he's a far cry from the guy who gave this interview.
Sure, you know, it's good to be in this position. I'm very thankful for it. I'm very, you know, I'll make sure to put it to full use.
It's not even recognizable to this this brilliant speaker of a man. It's not even recognisable, man. It's actually sad, man. It genuinely is. Like we've seen twisted geniuses before. Paul Gascoigne, for example, the footballer. Some of you might not know who he is, but he was a genius footballer who unfortunately had issues with addiction. When you're going on to interviews with DAZN and the like, and you're making a tit out of yourself, that's when those close to you need to step in and say, enough's enough for me. What are you doing? Who's his friends?
Conor responds to this video by making a voice-only tweet basically saying True Geordie looks like a fat burns victim along with other things. Even saying that there's subtitles on the video, so if you don't understand what he's saying, you can read it.
Mr. Estrogen, what's happening? Fat. Who the f*** are you? You little Burns victim looking thing. Fuck me, man. Who scalded you with a kettle? You fat nobody. You little feminine of a thing. So yeah, keep my name out of your mouth, you stupid cunt. Sick of seeing your fat born face. Scaldy, fat, estrogen head. Oh my god, you can't understand what I'm saying, can you not, pal? You've got subtitles under the fucking thing saying exactly what I'm saying. So what are you saying, you little fat no-name?
That tweet has been deleted since. I will give him credit as he is right. You could just look at subtitles if you don't understand what he's saying. And I'm going to get more into that later as well. Now, this is where it all goes downhill even further for True Geordie, as he responds to that tweet from Conor McGregor on his main channel making a video about it, with the most smug and stupid looking face in the thumbnail.
Well, let's hear what he had to say.
Fat.
Who starts a message like that? That's not very polite.
Who are you?
Who am I? Well, for a start, you've tagged me in the tweet. That's like ringing up someone and going, hello, and they go, hello, and you go, who are you? And you go, well, you called me. You know fine well who I am. You've blocked us on your Twitter. You've blocked us on Instagram. I'm probably barred from that pub he talks about all the time as well.
This was a very poor statement, as the headline, the tweet, the clip, whatever or however Conor McGregor found it, will say True Geordie in it some way, somehow. If you looked at an article and it did not say True Geordie's name in the article title, it could have said it in the text. Either way, he could have found your name, he could have looked up your social medias and blocked you, and could have easily tagged you that way. Though he probably genuinely does not know you and only looked up your tag. And apparently, knowing your name or your tags on social media means you know everything about them, according to True Geordie's statement. He goes on to nitpick what Conor says about him, acting like he's all high and mighty for whatever reason.
You little Burns victim looking thing.
That's a strange one for an insult. I hate the idea that there's a little young Burns victim out there who idolises Conor McGregor and hears that. That's the tragedy here. That little harmless young man with a dream to recover from his burns. And Conor McGregor is saying it's a bad thing. Do you not have sympathy for burns victims? And as it happens, this redness is a skin condition anyway, so joke's on you.
Me, man, who scalded you with a kettle? You fat.
Oh, fat shaming. Good one, good one. Remember when he used to be the best, wittiest trash talker in the game? If this isn't an example of why you should stay off the gear, kids, I don't know what is. The man's brain's gone to mush.
You fat nobody. You little feminine of a thing.
Conor likes to put himself across like he's this big alpha male and he makes everyone feel feminine. Bro, what are you? 5'8", 11 stone? I'm 6'4" and 21 stone. Literally, I'm bigger and stronger than you in every single conceivable way. Women bigger than you, pal. You see, Conor doesn't know what it's like to shop with big and tall. He has those custom suits fitted just nicely for his tiny little legs, doesn't he? Those skinny little brittle legs that snap like twigs.
Why fuck pussy, yeah? Keep my name out of your mouth, you stupid cunt.
How could we forget this? If this doesn't say you've got a problem, pal, I don't know what does, because how wrecked were you?
Oh, you fat shamed me. Bro, no one cares. Why are you acting like you haven't said anything ever yourself? And it's just trash talk on the internet, and you're taking the soft, he said this about me, what about the burn victims route? This just makes you look stupid and weak. And what's with the clip of him sleeping, like after getting laid? I don't see what you're on about in that. You're truly stretching it. Oh, you had sex and fell asleep? You got a drug problem, bro. All of this drug use stuff is probably just projecting, to be honest, and you'll see why in a minute. Also, from what it sounds like in the video, easily it sounds like True Geordie. Also, True Geordie tries to act like, oh, Conor McGregor isn't good at trash talking anymore, but I feel like that genuinely got under his skin because of the way he acts and responds to it and stuff. And also, you can see, like, he is shaking at one point. Like, he's, like, doing that little knee thing. Now, the knee bounce doesn't mean exactly, like, oh, you're nervous or you're angry or whatever, but, you know, that's a sign. It's a possibility. So, I think that truly Conor McGregor did get under his skin.
Sick of seeing your fat bone face, scaldy, fat, estrogen head.
Estrogen. It's funny because you always find that what you're really thinking about will come out a lot of the time in videos where people make them ranting like this. And since Conor left the UFC testing pool, hormones have really been on the brain. Can't think why though. Did you need testosterone? Did you, Conor, to help your little brittle bones heal up, did you?
I think he's just nitpicking here again. And say that you are a fighter yourself. Wouldn't you want to take something that will make you heal quicker and possibly better so you can get back into another fight soon? Besides this, a huge chunk of the video is so boring and brain rotting, worse than any steroid could ever be. Fast forwarding through the video, he challenges Conor McGregor to a boxing match or MMA.
This guy needs help, it's clear as day. He's talking about fighting Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler right now is the safest money you're ever going to bet on a fight in your life. He is in no way ready to fight anyone. Not even me. And the funniest thing is, the way he's talking about it is in this video. The way he complained about Nate Diaz being too big for him, too strong for him at 170 pounds, mate. I'm 300 pounds and built like a rugby player. I'm the size of the guys who Floyd Mayweather and you hire to protect them when you're walking around in public. I would pick Conor McGregor up like a shopping bag with one arm. He is so small compared to me. And I know his fans are going to think he's like Superman or whatever, but they've got weight classes for a reason, bro. I'm more than twice the size of this man. And look, if you want to do a charity fight, anything, MMA, boxing, I don't really give a shit because I'm literally a giant compared to you. We'll donate the money to burns victims. How about that? Anytime, anywhere, any place. I really don't care. Someone needs to shut that hole in your face.
This got a lot of people talking and saying stuff on the internet. Some people are saying Conor would win, and that is possible. Bigger guys are known to have low gas tanks, so he'll tire out quickly, and they are a lot slower. Conor is smaller and quicker, and has more experience. Also, from what I've seen, True Geordie has never trained wrestling or anything of the sort, and all that he has ever done is boxing, from what I've seen. But I don't think he actually is doing serious boxing, like training to fight or anything, but just does it as like a way to stay fit. Conor could just wait for you to tire out and then wrestle you. Size isn't the ultimate winner of every fight, especially whenever you're a super trained and professional UFC fighter that at one time was a champion in 2 weight divisions like Conor McGregor. Also, what are you going to do when you pick him up? Because he talks about this in the video a few times. What does that possibly even do? If you did like what you said, boxing, you just get a warning and told not to do that again, and maybe a point deduction for just picking him up and holding him there. And in MMA, you could slam him or wrestle him, sure, but if you have no experience in that, he could possibly get out pretty easy. Especially if it's later in the rounds, and you're tired, and you're sweating, and you're just easy to slip out of. But just picking him up does nothing unless you plan to do something smart with it. People on Twitter were saying it sounds like a cash grab, which I have to agree. It really does sound like a useless cash grab and beef for just views and attention. If you're wondering what happened in the rest of the video after the call out, he kind of just rambles on about how he used to be a huge McGregor fan and even got hate for it. Brings up Conor McGregor's record and how he's lost some of his last fights and hasn't won one in like 7 years or something like that. But he doesn't at all bring up who he has fought and lost to. I'll show his record on SureDog right here in the past like few years that he's kind of talking about. He lost to Nate Diaz once, then fought 2 fights winning those. Then he lost to Khabib. Does another fight after the Khabib loss 2 years later against Donald Cerrone. Then loses 2 times in the same year, which was just 2021, to Dustin Poirier. Which during one of those, his leg broke mid-fight. So if you really want to call that a loss, that's on you, but I don't know how that would work. I kind of wish that was more of a no contest or doctor stoppage because his leg did break mid-fight. And to be honest, that leg break is what causes him to leave the UFC for these 2 years and probably take steroids to heal as anyone else would. Especially fighters trying to get back in as soon as possible. And leg breaks like that are something you gotta be careful with and take time to start feeling better and heal. It's just something that happens in the MMA world, well, where you have to take a long time to heal because of something like a big injury like that. Plenty of fighters have had to leave for a while because of an injury or something and then have to come back. Look at John Jones. He left for a few years and then came back and is now champion. Conor can do the exact same. But we'll just have to see in his next fight if he's actually done or if he's gotten better or what, or if he's ready to fight again more. I wouldn't count him out yet like a lot of people are doing. Now, my personal opinion on this whole True Geordie situation, Conor McGregor's Irish and does have an accent, so it could be hard to understand. Also, like I said before, there's a big difference from the old interviews till now. One was in private with a woman, and the other was in public with a guy that I'd like to think his friends are closer to Conor than the other. As Ariel Helwani has been in the MMA scene for a very long time and was even in the UFC at one point. And like I said before, I think True Geordie is nitpicking in multiple areas, possibly looking too close into certain movements and such. But it could seem like odd behavior, but maybe Conor was just feeling more happy and energetic and couldn't get everything out at that time. One huge thing that I don't like about this whole situation and the whole video is that how he doesn't add any other possibilities and just immediately goes to, oh, he's doing drugs and drugs are the only cause. And not bringing out any other possibilities like, oh, hey, maybe he's doing this, maybe it's because of this or that. One thing I will bring up is he is fighting Michael Chandler this or next year, and the only way he's allowed to fight is to go through the drug tests from USADA. It's a 6-month testing pool process to make sure you are clean for the fight. There's been some iffy stuff around that, but Conor's saying he's ready but can't do it because of paperwork now. Some people are saying he isn't clean and doesn't want to get into the pool till he is, which I think is fair because why waste the time getting into the pool if you know you're going to get rejected? The best UFC fighter to ever do it, even going undefeated, Chael Sonnen, which I highly recommend you watch his YouTube channel if you're into MMA and all that, as he talks a lot about MMA, he's really close to some people and can get info a bit quicker and a bit better than anyone else can. He talked about this whole situation, and to be honest, I'm just going to put the link of the video in the description below, as it's a super good video. He's a super good speaker, and I highly recommend you watch the video. Chael Sonnen says in his video that it's been so long that saying he's staying out of the pool till he's clean is kind of iffy now, and that maybe he just doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler, which is a good possibility. Maybe he doesn't want to fight Michael Chandler. But I've seen so many clips of Michael Chandler getting destroyed easily that I think Conor can win this fight with the skills he's shown in his past. Maybe he is waiting till he's clean because of the steroids he took to get better. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he has a drug problem. We'll just have to see. Thank you all for watching and make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this. I love UFC and MMA, so I really want to talk about this. If I have any UFC or MMA fans in the comments, let me know who you are. Also, I want to know, who do you think wins in a fight, True Geordie or Conor McGregor? Personally, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor in this one. And also, who do you think is going to win, Michael Chandler or Conor McGregor? Personally, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor again on this one. But with all that said, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And in the end, I'm PERK30, and...
In conclusion, is the perfect example of what zero pussy does to a motherfucker.